Hello, this will be a video tutorial for our first activity of the semester, Unit 1, Activity 1. And the first thing that I'd like to point out is that every activity will have two major parts. There will be a content and there'll be an assignment page. Always go through the content first. Consider the content page your lesson for the week. Okay, that's everything that you need to know in that activity in order to complete the assignment. Sometimes students like to skip ahead and try to jump right to the assignment and do the assignment and get the activity over with. But if you don't go through the content first, you're probably not going to do the assignment correctly, and you also probably won't be ready for our midterm and final exams when you will be tested on the content from the different activities. Okay? The second thing I'll point out is that when you open up one of the content or assignment pages, you can click this button right here to maximize the screen, and it'll open up, in this case, the content page of Unit 1, Activity 1. It'll open up to the full screen here. Okay, and so now let's take a quick look at the content of Unit 1, Activity 1. The content section will always have three parts, and the first part is going to be a Minds On, and the Minds On section will be like an introduction, and it will usually have some sort of video or some sort of graphic text, something to grab your attention and to establish a theme for that particular activity. And in this case, the theme is going to revolve around role models. So this will be a little introduction to role models and to how we sort of find people that we admire and respect in our own lives. And then we'll have a video here from astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he'll explain, in his view, kind of how role models should work and how we should find our role models in our lives. If we continue on here, it'll ask you to start thinking about some of the role models in your life and to think of some of the traits that we admire in other people. This idea is going to come back in our assignment later on in this activity. You're going to have to write about a specific person that you consider a role model. So when you're going through this opening section, start thinking and paying attention to the type of person that you consider to be a role model. All right, the second part of any content page will be the action section. And the action is going to kind of be like the main lesson for the activity. It will contain most of the concepts and the terminology that you're going to need to know in order to do the assignment that you're about to do later on in the activity. And so in this case, we're going to be introduced to the research process, and it'll go through the 4 different steps that you have to work your way through to properly research something. You'll also get some tips on how to improve your Google searches, and there'll be a video here about how to use advanced search through Google. If you're like me, I used to just go to Google and just type in whatever, the first thing I thought of. If I was looking for a person, I would type the person's name in, and that's it. But there's a lot more that goes into Google searches that you can, there's a lot of strategies you can use to narrow your search and to find better websites. Next, we've got using websites for research, and so you're going to have a little explanation here and a link and a short video here that's going to talk about how to evaluate websites. You're going to have to do research and to use websites when you complete your first assignment of the semester in this activity, and so you're going to have to know whether the websites you're using are quality websites, whether the information they're presenting is reliable. And then the activity is going to talk about citing your sources, and we'll talk a little bit about the different ways that you can use citations and references when you're using research in your assignments. And specifically, we'll focus on APA and MLA, which are probably the two most popular methods of citing research in academic work. It doesn't much matter to me whether you use APA or MLA, as long as you do it correctly. The assignment you're going to have to complete in this activity, and in assignments later in this semester, you're going to have to show that you understand how to find research and then properly put research into your assignments. So it's really important that you go through this content and that you understand it. You might want to take notes. You might want to kind of really check out these websites and make sure that you fully understand what we mean by inside text citations and works cited pages before you move on to the assignment portion of this activity. And then at the bottom here, you've got consolidation. And the consolidation section of the content page will be the wrap-up. It'll be kind of giving you the final bit of information that you're going to need to know in order to do the activity. In order to do the assignment in the activity. And so in this case, they're going to explain how to write a proper information paragraph. And presumably you've written information paragraphs before in grade 11 and grade 10. But this is a reminder about the different parts of an information paragraph. And then you've got an example of an information paragraph, actually a researched information paragraph. So it's on Alexander the Great, and you'll see examples of quotations that are properly cited inside the paragraph. And then you'll see an example of a works cited page where you have two sources that are properly formatted and properly written out. You're going to have to do something very similar to this in your assignment, in your first assignment. So it's important that this makes sense to you, that you understand the structure of this paragraph, and that you understand how to do a works cited page and how to properly cite quotations inside your work. Okay, and that's it for the content page. As you'll see here, it says you have now completed the content page. Click on the assignment link at the bottom or top of this web page to complete the assignments in this activity. And so you can click the assignment link here, or you can click the assignment link up here. And when you go to the assignment page here, you'll see another video from me that will explain this activity's assignment.